world that never sleeps, where our minds are bombarded with endless information, expectations, and fears. We often find ourselves trapped in the snare of overthinking. It is a silent adversary, one that creeps in, slowly tightening its grip, drowning us in a sea of doubt, indecision, and anxiety. We become captives to our own thoughts, prisoners within our own minds, spiraling into a maze where clarity is lost and peace becomes a distant memory. But there is a way out, a way to reclaim our minds from this relentless turmoil. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers us a path, not just to think differently, but to live differently. This is not a path of avoidance or distraction, but one of facing our inner chaos head-on, confronting the very roots of our overthinking. The Stoics, warriors of the mind like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, teach us that tranquility is not found by controlling the world outside, but by mastering the world within. Today we embark on this journey together, a journey to silence the noise, to sharpen our focus, and to reclaim our peace. Let us draw from the wisdom of the Stoics, who understood the art of turning turmoil into tranquility and confusion into clarity. Here are 8 lessons that will guide us in overcoming overthinking and lead us back to our center, where strength and serenity await. Lesson 1: embrace the present moment as your only reality. The first lesson to break free from the chains of overthinking is to realize that the present moment is all we truly possess. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, urged us, confine yourself to the present. When we dwell on the past or worry about the future, we dissolve our essence into nothingness. Our minds spiral in circles, grasping at illusions that neither help us nor heal us. Instead, let us anchor ourselves in the present, where clarity is born and action thrives. We must remember that our strength lies in the now, a breath, a heartbeat, a step forward. Lesson 2: understand the dichotomy of control. The Stoics teach us that life is divided into 2 spheres: what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus, a former slave turned Stoic teacher, reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Overthinking stems from a futile attempt to control what is beyond our reach: other people's actions, past mistakes, future uncertainties. Yet true power comes from directing our focus to what we can control: our thoughts, our decisions, our actions. When we master this dichotomy, we liberate ourselves from the tyranny of unnecessary anxiety. Lesson 3: practice negative visualization. There is a paradoxical art in contemplating the worst that could happen. Negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum, invites us to imagine the very things we fear most: loss, failure, rejection. Why? Because by facing our fears head-on, we strip them of their ability to paralyze us. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic minds, wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." By rehearsing adversity, we arm ourselves with acceptance, finding strength in our ability to endure whatever may come. This is not pessimism, it is preparation. We do not fear the future, we are ready for it. Lesson 4: detach from destructive emotions. Overthinking is often the offspring of unchecked emotions. Anger, fear, envy, they fuel the fire of rumination, leading us deeper into confusion. Yet the Stoics teach us that emotions themselves are not the problem. It is our attachment to them that harms us. As Epictetus counseled, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. When we detach from the need to justify or cling to these emotions, we regain control over our inner world. We must learn to observe emotions as transient visitors, not masters of our soul. Lesson 5: accept the nature of impermanence. Everything we experience is fleeting. This is the law of nature. To overthink is to resist this law, to cling desperately to what must inevitably change. Marcus Aurelius reminds us loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. When we accept impermanence, we understand that no problem, no fear, no doubt is eternal. This acceptance frees us from the need to overanalyze every detail. We move with life rather than against it, embracing the flow of existence with grace and serenity. Lesson 6: cultivate inner silence. In a world that thrives on noise, external and internal, finding silence is a radical act of defiance. The Stoics believed in the power of inner stillness, where the mind is unshackled from the endless chatter that feeds overthinking. Seneca said, "Silence is a lesson learned from the many sufferings of life." To cultivate this silence, we must consciously withdraw from the constant barrage of opinions, expectations, and distractions. In this sacred quiet, we confront ourselves, strip away the unnecessary, and find clarity in the simplicity of being. Lesson 7: focus on purposeful action. Overthinking immobilizes us. It is a thief of time and energy. The antidote: purposeful action. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Marcus Aurelius commands us, rather than becoming trapped in endless cycles of thought, we must act. With each step taken, clarity emerges and doubts diminish. Action rooted in virtue and intention grounds us, reminding us that progress is not made in thought alone but in deeds. Lesson 8: remember memento mori. Lastly, we must remember the ultimate Stoic meditation, memento mori. Remember that you will die. This is not a call to despair, but a call to live. When we realize that our time is limited, we cease to squander it on pointless rumination. Instead, we focus on what truly matters: virtue, wisdom, courage, and love. As Epictetus poignantly states, what we ought to do when we are reminded of death is to take care of our own minds. Let this thought burn in our consciousness like a beacon, guiding us away from the trivial and towards the essential. As we stand at the end of this path, let us remember that the battle against overthinking is not won in a single moment, but through a lifetime of practice and reflection. The Stoics did not promise us an easy road. They knew that the mind is a complex and often unruly companion, capable of leading us astray if left unchecked. Yet they also knew that within each of us lies the power to rise above this inner chaos, to cultivate a mind that is calm, clear, and unyielding. Overthinking may seem like a natural response to the uncertainties of life, but it is not an inevitable one. We have learned that by embracing the present, recognizing what we can and cannot control, facing our fears with courage, and anchoring ourselves in purposeful action, we can break free from the chains of our own thoughts. We are reminded to keep silence within, to act with intention, and to never forget the impermanence of all things. Let us not just ponder these lessons, but live them. Let them become our guiding stars when the night is darkest, when doubts arise, and when our minds threaten to pull us into their depths. Remember the wisdom of those who came before us, who walked this path with bravery and resolve. We too can cultivate such strength. We too can find peace. The journey is long, and the work is endless, but the reward is profound, a mind unshaken by the storms of life. Together we strive, together we rise. And in this unity we discover that the greatest victory is not over the world, but over ourselves.